From Mulcahy Field in beautiful downtown Anchorage, Alaska, it is game number 29 for the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks as they pay a visit to their big city rival, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. I'm Garrett Mansfield. Alongside me is Andrew Alex. We'll hear from Andrew in a moment. The Fish are looking to bounce back from a 4-0 loss at the hands of the Glacier Pilots last night and split this quick two-game set with the Pilots. The Chinooks do hold the edge in the season series with a 4-3 record, as the Chinooks are 13-15, second place in the national division of the ABL. The Pilots come in with a record of 12-15, third place in the ABL's national division. Tonight's pitching matchup will be right-handed pitcher Justin Dellinger for the Glacier Pilots. He has a record of 2-2 and a 1.64 ERA, squaring off against Chinooks left-hander Connor Menez, who holds a 3-1 record and an ERA of 1.72. Without going too much further, let's meet tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by BP, powering Alaska's future. First, for the visiting Chinooks, a team hitting .228, good enough for fourth in the Alaska Baseball League. They average 3.6 runs per game. Leading things off, the third baseman from Santa Ana College, Patrick Cromwell. Matt Fruto, the DH from UAB, will hit second, batting third. The center fielder from Santa Ana, Cameron Boronik. Cleaning up and doing the catching, Andrew Mogg from Virginia Tech. Hitting fifth, the second baseman from Xavier, David Morton. Braxton Wilkes from Abilene Christian will hit sixth in left field. Batting seventh, the first baseman Holt Davis from UAB. Batting eighth, the shortstop Will Bass from Wayland Baptist. And Jacob Brobst, the right fielder from Ohio State, will hit ninth. Connor Menez from the Masters College will pitch for the Chinooks. For the Glacier Pilots, center fielder Luke Hamblin will lead off from UCF. Joe Maroney from Kansas will hit second, playing right field. Hitting third and left field from Pacific for the Glacier Pilots is J.J. Wagner. Jack Lebowski from Duke will man first base and hit fourth. Hitting fifth, the third baseman from USC, Adalberto Carrillo. Hitting sixth, the catcher from Wichita State, Gunnar Troutwine. Alex Tuccio, the DH from Siena, will hit seventh. Hitting eighth, the shortstop from Pacific, Kyle Watson. And Carson Kreitz, the second baseman from Southeast Louisiana, will hit ninth for the Glacier Pilots. And on the hill from Texas State is Justin Dellinger. First offering tonight is a ball from Patrick Cromwell. He takes the second pitch to the second baseman Kreitz, who has it cleanly and throws on to first for the first out of the ball game. So that's how we get going. The Chinooks wearing their red tops with the navy Chinooks across the chest with the white trim. With the gray pants, they'll go camo lids as well. The Glacier Pilots, all home white, a Dodger look to them with the script Pilots across the front chest in Dodger blue. There is a red numeral on the front as well, and then the blue number on the back. Matt Fruto stands in, banks the first pitch he sees along the right side and out of play. And tonight's first pitch coming at 7:09 with a 69-degree temperature, mostly cloudy skies in Anchorage. A stiff breeze blowing from the right field foul pole, or from the left field foul pole to the right field foul pole. That's also fouled off by Fruto, so the count staying 0-2 to begin the ball game, just one out. In the top of the first inning, the Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots. Second straight meeting here this week, as Matt Fruto stands back in and waves and misses at the pitch from Dellinger. And that's the second out of the top of the first. Dellinger is 2-2, a 1.64 ERA, 21 strikeouts in 33 innings. His last time out went 9 full. Gave up 1 run and 3 hits, 9 strikeouts against the Oilers. And here we'll see Cameron Boronik. He takes that pitch away, ball 1. Boronik hitting .284 for the Chinooks with a 7-game hitting streak to go along with it. So here's the 1-0 pitch from the Chinooks center fielder. Bounces it towards the second baseman, Kreitz. He charges, gloves, throws in time to get Boronik and retire the side. So Justin Dellinger goes through a quick top of the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. And no score from Mulcahy Field after half an inning. As the Chinooks will now send Connor Menez to the hill to face the worst offensive team in the Alaska Baseball League. The Glacier Pilots hitting a whimsical .207. and averaging 3.1 runs per game. And they'll have a tough task at it tonight against lefty Connor Menez, who's 3-1, striking out 32 over 36.2 innings. And his last time out, he saw the Matsu Miners through 7 innings on 6 hit balls, striking out 7 as well. 2 of his 3 wins have come against the Matsu Miners, a team that has only lost 7 games all year. So pretty impressive, clearly, for Connor from the Masters College.
And Connor Menez, a guy that when he's out on the mound, always gives the Chinooks a chance to win. And the scouts have been noticing a Milwaukee Brewers scout here. Looking at him, he's also drawing attention from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And coming into the Scout Showcase this weekend, he's going to be a guy that a lot of major league teams are going to keep an eye on, and well deserves. So for Connor Menez, he has been pitching out of his mind so far this season, and it goes back to his regular season with the Masters College, where he was just dominant for the Mustangs.
And it was a year he was 7-1 with a 194 earned run average, and started 12 games. He also was tied in the team lead with 67 strikeouts. A guy who is out in the bullpen with the Chinooks was the other end of that tie, and Jason Karkenny. As we have seen, Karkenny certainly can get his fair share of strikeouts as well. So we're ready for the bottom of inning number 1. And it'll be Luke Hamblin from the University of Central Florida, the only left-handed hitter in the lineup tonight for the Glacier Pilots against the lefty Menez. Hamblin, also the only guy in the lineup hitting over 300, and only one of 3 hitting over 200 for the Glacier Pilots. So it's going to be a tough go at it. And the first offering from Connor Menez blazes in there for a called first strike. Menez, fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. The big lefty fires it home and hits the outside corner for strike 2. So quickly ahead of the center fielder, Luke Hamblin. Hamblin has a double, 2 triples to go with it. He's hit in 7 straight. The 0-2 upstairs from Connor Menez. And a Pilots team that they really found the zone last night, putting up a 4 spot. And Hamblin goes the other way on the 1-2 pitch and finds some green and has a leadoff single for the Glacier Pilots.
That's pretty uncommon, Garrett. Normally, it seems like Connor Menez is a no-hitter going into the 4th inning pretty much every ball game, day in and day out. In fact, the last time I can remember him giving a leadoff hit was in the first exhibition game versus the Matsu Miners.
It's been a while. He then went 1-2-3 in that inning after striking out the side.
Yes, he did.
So Connor stands back in, faces Joe Maroney, the right fielder from Kansas. He squares the bunt, pulls back, but that's on the inside part of the plate for a strike. The only hitters in the lineup that have had any success against Connor Menez is at the bottom of the order. Alex Tuccio, the number 7 hitter, walked against Menez on June 23rd, and then Carson Kreitz singled off of him the same game.
Well, quite frankly, Garrett, most of these Glacier Pilots hitters aren't having much success against anyone, let alone Connor Menez, one of the most dominant arms in the Alaska Baseball League this season.
0-1. Maroney already squared the bunt. The throw is up and outside. Ball 1. Gunnar Troutwine also has a single off of Connor Menez, but he was picked off. That was also in the June 23rd game when Connor went 6 innings of 1-hit baseball. That was the only hit of that game. And that's a bunt right back to the pitcher, Menez, between first and the mound. He has it, throws on to first, no problem. On to second base goes Luke Hamblin.
And gosh, Garrett, a runner on second for Connor Menez is very strange territory.
I haven't seen much of it, but he does allow runs every now and then. And the Glacier Pilots, who had a quick start last night, got one at the bottom of the first as well on their way to a 4-0 win. First pitch strike from Menez. So J.J. Wagner. So Menez will face all righties in this lineup with the exception of the leadoff hitter Hamblin. Connor sending. First base side of the rubber. Out of the stretch. Checking the runner. Comes home. Breaking ball just off the outer edge. Evens the count up at 1-1. Menez, a native of Hollister, California. And he owes a school in Santa Clarita, where the Masters College is located. Delivers that one on the outside edge for strike 2. And J.J. Wagner, also a California student at the University of the Pacific in Stockton. Here's the 1-2 hit the other way towards right, hooking just foul along the right side. So that'll keep it at 1-2, and the runner back to second base.
A sigh of relief there from Connor Menez.
The Chinooks defensively. Holt Davis at first, David Morton at second, Will Bass at short as Hunter Hanks getting the night off, Patrick Cromwell at third base, Braxton Wilkes in left, Cameron Baranica is back manning center field, and Jacob Probst, the Buckeye, out in right field. Andrew Mogg doing the catching. Here's the 1-2 from Menez, and Wagner hits it the other way again. So it'll remain at 1-2. And the Pilots, they've had some tough goes offensively, and the Chinooks are in a very similar position, and it seems like every time Connor Menez goes out there, the Fish automatically have a great chance to win. Menez checking Hamblin at second, fires the 1-2 home. That's going to be just inside to Wagner, had to bend out of the way a little bit. So the count will go to 2-2. One gone, bottom of inning number 1. We are still scoreless. One hit on the scoreboard belongs to the man at second base, Luke Hamblin. Here's the 2-2. Wagner fouls that off the first base side again. We'll stay at 2-2. Menez looking into Mogg for the signs. He's got it. He comes set. Letter high, fires home the 2-2, fouled up and over right at us again. So Connor really laboring here against J.J. Wagner, who's only hitting $145. Menez coming set again. Here's the 2-2 offering to Wagner. Swung on in the air towards center. It's going to get down and get by Baranik into center. Near the warning track, it's going to be extra bases for Wagner as the runner Hamblin comes home to score. It's 1-0. Glacier Pilots already in the first.
Very, very uncharacteristic of Connor Menez. So let up a run in general.
So a first inning run for the Glacier Pilots. Still one out. As J.J. Wagner and Luke Hamblin switch places. So a 1-0 lead, bottom of inning number 1 remaining. And the big first baseman from Duke, Jack Lebowski. First offering, strike is in there to Lebowski. Lebowski just hitting $160 with a pair of RBIs. Haven't seen him in a while. Mostly Kevin Veers over at first base, getting the day off today against Menez. Here's the 0-1. Lebowski takes it outside. 1-1 goes the count. Veers a left-handed hitter, as most lefties. Getting a rest today for the Glacier Pilots. Menez fires the 1-1 home, a little bit low, 2-1. Here at Mulcahy Field, the Chinooks are 5-1. The first loss came last night when they were shut out 4-0 to the Pilots. Next time they'll be here after today will be Friday and Saturday, and some of them will be here Sunday as well. Lebowski, a big swing and a miss over an off-speed pitch from Connor Menez. Goes 2-2. Friday, the Chinooks will be the home team against the Matsu Miners in the first game of the Scout Showcase here at Mulcahy Stadium. And then on Saturday, it'll be a 4 o'clock start against the Gold Panthers. Lebowski waves and misses. He goes down swinging. And the first strikeout victim of the night for Connor Menez. So 2 outs for Adalberto Carrillo. Carrillo at a USC, hitting .211, went 1 for 4 last night with a pair of RBIs. And from USC, the university that has produced the most major league talent than any other school in America. First offering to Carrillo, bangs it foul, first base dugout out of play. It's like everybody got out of the way on that one. 0-1 to begin the at-bat. Carrillo does have 3 doubles. As J.J. Wagner standing at second moments after his 4th on the season. So Connor Menez trying to work out of a little bit of a jam. Has already given up a run in this inning. Fires it high, ball 1. Evens the count up. Menez coming in with a .92 whip, which is basically calculated to understand how many base runners a pitcher will have during a particular inning. The 1-1 is swung on a miss by Carrillo. Good heat from Menez. Gets it by him. Count moves to 1-2. So Menez averaging a blip under 1 runner per inning. He's had 2 in the first. Menez coming set. Here's the 1-2 to the big right-handed hitter for the Glacier Pilots, and hit hard towards first base, but it'll get wide of the bag. So we'll stay at 1-2. And Menez has already used 25 pitches in this first inning. Sometimes he hardly needs 5 to get through some. But he is working through this one. Each and every start of his, he's gone at least 5 innings this season. This is his 7th start of the year. The 1-2 in there. Strike 3 called. Gets Carrillo looking. So Connor Menez fans a pair after he gives up 1 run against the Glacier Pilots in this first inning. But after 1, Glacier Pilots 1 and the Chinooks nothing. Chinooks coming to bat with Mogg, Morton, and Wilkes due up. We'll be right back on Chinooks Radio. Andrew Mogg takes ball 1 as we begin the second inning. The 1-0 from Dellinger up and in, 2-0. Andrew Mogg entering play, hitting .269. He has hit in 7 straight. Over that time, he is 8 for 26 with 6 RBIs and 2 doubles. Here's the 2-0 offering, away 3-0. Yeah, I'd walk him too. He does have 9 walks this season. His OBP, second on the team at 367. Here's a 3-0. Outside, ball 4. So Justin Dellinger comes back out his second inning of work. Looks like his offense made him sit too long. He's cold. Andrew Mogg on board with a 4-pitch walk for David Morton.
And Andrew Mogg, the kind of guy I expect to see in the All-Star game. And if not the All-Star game, definitely the Home Run Derby.
Definitely the Home Run Derby. One of the best hitting catchers in this league that we've seen. Definitely has the power. Has 2 homers. Here's a guy with 1 in David Morton. Squares the bunt, drops it first base side between first and the mound. The pitcher, Dellinger, has it. He throws it up the line. It gets away, but there the second baseman, Kreitz, to back it up. But still going to go down as a error on the pitcher, Dellinger.
And Lebowski was standing right in the baseline there, and Morton just collided with him. But Morton getting up quickly, giving the freshman from Duke a pat on the back, and now the Chinooks with runners on first and second, nobody out.
But Carson Kreitz, probably the hero on that play right there, backing up the play at first. As a second baseman, that's exactly what you have to do on a bunt play, always rolling towards first base depending on the play called, but he was right there and happened to be in great position, or else that could have been a potential go-ahead score for the Chinooks. Here's Braxton Wilkes, takes ball 1 from Dellinger. Braxton hitting .267, had a pinch hit single last night. Braxton spending a lot of time as a pitcher, finally getting some reps in the field. Takes that one a little bit low, tried to bunt, but he'll hold up. As always, Braxton sporting the highlighter yellow batting gloves. Gotta love it. A young man that is about to make the jump to Division I baseball in Abilene Christian. And there's a pitch low and inside, and it's going to get away from the catcher, Troutwine. And moving up a base each is Mogg and Morton. So second and third, nobody out.
Justin Dellinger can't seem to find the zone, Garrett. You might be right. Yeah. Maybe he did sit for too long.
Yeah, Connor Menez using 27 pitches to get through the bottom of the first. And now Dellinger has caught a little bit of the same cold. Walked Mogg on 4 pitches. He's now at third. And David Morton over at second. And there's ball 4. And really and truly, you could probably count the throwing error as another ball because he didn't throw that as a strike to first either, as it got away and let Morton get there. So bases loaded, nobody out. Quick work for the Chinooks offensively for Holt Davis, and a guy who could really use some confidence here with the bases loaded.
And a guy in Holt Davis that already has 2 triples against the Glacier Pilots this season. Third time's the charm, maybe. And that would be a key break for a Chinooks team that hasn't scored over the last 2 games.
So the meeting at the mound should be the Glacier Pilots pitching coach and Justin Dellinger, and in addition to their whole infield. Jack Lebowski, Carson Kreitz, Kyle Watson, Berto, as they call him, Carrillo. Their outfielders, J.J. Wagner at left, Luke Hamblin in center, Joe Maroney in right. Gunnar Troutwine doing the catching. First offering to Holt Davis. There's a strike as he takes all the way. Davis from UAB playing first base tonight. Hits out of a slightly open stance from the right side. Dellinger winds it up his 0-1, and that's a swing on a drive towards left. There is Wagner, makes the head-high grab. Tagging and heading home is Andrew Mogg, and we are tied back at 1. So Holt Davis barrels up a baseball for the first time in what it seemed like an eternity, puts the Chinooks back to even with a 1-1 tie.
And a big spot there. The Chinooks getting on the board, tying this game. Back in the driver's seat. If Connor Menez can get back into his form and still runners at first and second. Just 1 out for Will Bass.
Here's Will Bass, takes outside, ball 1. Will Bass out of Wayland Baptist hitting 168. Does have 10 walks, so he's OBP at 243. That's downstairs from Dellinger, 2-0. Bass hitting 210 in the month of July alone.
I was about to say, Garrett, Dellinger kind of looks like DeGrom, but playing absolutely nothing like Jacob
Nothing
DeGrom
like
right now.
Here's the 2-0. Will Bass waves and misses. In a 1-1 ball game, top of inning number 2, the Chinooks a run on no base hits. How about that? The
Suitable.
Glacier Pilots a run on 2 hits. Here's the offering, and Will Bass rifles it towards shortstop. There to make the catch is Kyle Watson. He flips it to the second baseman, Kreitz, at second to complete the double play. So what could have been much, much more, the Chinooks are done after the second. They only get 1 out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation. So we're going to step aside, take a quick break, and score that one. You're listening to Chinooks Radio. We'll be right back. We go to the bottom of inning number 2, a 1-1 tie. And I have a feeling that second inning is going to haunt the Chinooks again. 1-1. Could have been much more. Here's the first offering from Connor Menez. He fires it a little bit low. Ball 1, scooped out by Andrew Mogg. The Fish had bases loaded with nobody out. They get a sac fly and then a double play. Low ball 2, and those are the kind of games that, or the kind of situations that will demoralize a baseball club. Here's the 2-0 from Connor Menez, and that's going to be on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Certainly doesn't help out the guy on the mound. So Menez winds it up, the 2-1 offering, swung on, hit to the right side and gets out of play.
And quite frankly, Garrett, I don't think an inning like that's going to happen again, where the starter just can't find the zone.
And that's a grounder right back up the middle, under the feet of Menez in the center field for a base hit. So second inning in a row, the Glacier Pilots have gotten the leadoff man aboard on a single. Last time Gunnar Troutwine did that against Connor Menez, he got picked off, though. We'll see how Menez treats him this time. And here's Alex Tuccio. Tuccio hitting .500, but that's just 3 for 6. He also has 3 walks. Walked against Menez the last time he saw him. Breaking ball. Backdoors Tuccio, and that's strike 1. 1-1 tie, bottom of inning number 2. A run on 3 hits for the Glacier Pilots. They do have an error as well in the field. A run on no hits for the Chinooks. Tuccio fouls that ball down the right side out of play again. Moves the count 0-2 quickly. So Menez already with 2 strikeouts. He got him in the first inning. Very close to recording another. as he's into the bottom of the pilot's order yet again. Here's the 0-2 from Menez, and it goes high to Tuccio. Alex Tuccio plays his college ball at Siena, serving as the DH today for the Glacier Pilots. Here's the 1-2 offering. That got away from Menez. It's outside 2-2. Looked like a changeup he didn't quite have the handle on. And Tuccio goes to Siena in Loudonville, New York. The Saints. He also began his career at Seton Hall, but transferred out. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Connor Menez. Third strikeout of the evening so far. And one gone in the bottom of inning number 2. Brings up Kyle Watson from the University of the Pacific. Interesting note about Siena. Not really interesting. It's more common knowledge to guys like me, but they are in the MAC. No, it's the Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference.
The MAC.
Not the true MAC. Ball 1 to Kyle Watson. Guy like me. In the rear MAC, in the Mid-American Conference.
You're a man of the news. I'm sure you heard about Akron's baseball program being cut. That leaves Gold Banners catcher Brian Lee is on the open market for a new team.
Actually, conversation about Akron going to the FCS, dropping down a division in football to save some money. Here's the 1-1, and that's hit to the right side and out of play from Watson, so the count will go to 1-2. And the MAC and the MAC. they are a couple of conferences that like to see each other in basketball. I think 2 years ago, the Bowling Green women's program saw about 7 Mid-Atlantic schools, including Marist, coached by the legend. The name is escaping me, but a legend. Actually, the head women's basketball coach at Marist has won state titles in like 6 or 7 different sports. Absolutely remarkable. That tells you the character of a true coach. So 2-2, Watson fouls back the pitch from Menez.
He's got a 5-tool coach.
It really is. I think he did it in baseball and softball and wrestling even, and men's and women's basketball. Just unreal. 2-2 is the count on Kyle Watson. Menez fires home in the dirt, blocked by Andrew Mogg. Runs the count full. The dimensions here at Mulcahy Stadium, 325 down the lines, 410 to dead center. In the alleys, no official mark, but it's got to be about 390. And there's a pickoff play to first, and that's going to be not in time. Holt Davis, tough time holding on to it. As back safely as Gunnar Troutwine. As the outfield walls are perpendicular to the dugouts and go straight out towards center. It flattens out a little bit. The 3-2 just missed outside. Menez didn't get the call, and he walks Kyle Watson. So first and second, with just one out for Carson Kreitz. Kreitz, from Southeast Louisiana, went 0 for 4 last night. Did single against Connor Menez. The last time we saw him on July the 3rd. He's only hitting that ball game. There's the first offering. Kreitz takes it outside. Ball 1. Connor Menez. He was a Xenia scout in the Great Lakes League last season. The summer of 2014. Had a very good summer there, and now he's translated it again. Blows a fastball by Carson Kreitz as he couldn't catch up to it, so the count goes 1-1. One gone, a 1-1 ball game. One's all across the scoreboard here at Mulcahy. Scoreboard located just beyond center field. Menez fires home the 1-1. Swing and a miss again. Came inside against Kreitz. Took something off it.
And don't let the Masters College, the NAIA title, fool you. talking to guys around this team and around this league, they say he could start for any team in the country.
A lot of guys sometimes run out of time and run out of options. And Menez fires the 1-2 home, and Carson Kreitz looked foolish on that at-bat. 4 strikeouts for Menez. The first time through the order. 2 gone for the Pilots for Luke Hamblin. The only left-handed hitter in the lineup for the Glacier Pilots. So Menez with a favorable lefty-lefty matchup here against Hamblin, but he singled his first time around. Ended up scoring in the bottom of the first. First offering, he singles that one into the center, but there is Will Bass. Leaps up and makes a good grab to retire the side. So what could have made a 2-1 ball game, Will Bass in his 5'9" stature goes up there and snatches that one and robs Hamblin of a base hit. So after 2, the Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots are deadlocked at 1. We'll be right back as you're listening to Chinooks Baseball.
So why can't life just be...
Jacob Ropes strolls into the batter's box for the Chinooks. He'll lead off the bottom or the top of the 3rd inning, Jacob Ropes leading the Fish in batting average and on-base percentage. 292 and 387. First offering to Ropes is going to be letter high and just a tad high from Justin Dellinger, who has a no-hitter through the first 2 innings, but
won't get the shutout.
Also has a 1-1 tie. First, the 1-0 in the zone to Brobst. Jacob Brobst, 6 different occasions he has collected more than 1 hit in a ball game. The 1-1 a little bit high to Brobst. Goes to 2-1. Hits from the right side. And here's the 2-1. He bangs that ball up the middle. Carson Kreitz has the backhand, makes a sliding stop, but he won't have a play on it. And Jacob Brobst with an infield single to lead off the top of the 3rd inning.
So for the 2nd straight inning, the Chinooks with the leadoff man aboard here. Let's see if they can tack on another run here with Patrick Cromwell coming to the plate.
Cromwell grounded out his first time through. It's 195 coming into play. And Adalberto Carrillo, aware of his bunting, and he's way in. At 3rd, first pitch is a strike from Dellinger. Carrillo playing about 75 feet away from the plate. Well inside the bag. Brobst away from 1st. And nobody out. Top of inning number 3. Here's the 0-1. Brobst away on the pitch. The throw down by Troutwine. Skips in there, but it's not in time. Jacob Brobst gets in there with his 4th stolen base of the season. Here in Anchorage, a 1-1 tie between the Chinooks of Chugiak Eagle River against the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. So Carrillo still well inside the bag at 3rd. The pitch, Cromwell squares the bunt, but takes outside. 2-1 goes the count. We'll get you an update here on the out-of-town scoreboard in just a moment. But big situations here at the plate. Patrick Cromwell stands back in. Dellinger sets. Checking Brobst. The pitch, and Cromwell dumps a bunt down the third base line. Troutwine has it. The throw to first is in time, and Jacob Brobst is into third base. Sacrifice complete for Patrick Cromwell for the first out of the inning.
The Fish threatening again here, and that's stolen base for Jacob Brobst. Huge now. The Chinooks a deep fly ball away from taking the lead in this ball game here with Matt Ferrudo coming to the plate. And he's proven in the past that he can definitely get a hold of one.
Has 11 RBIs this year. For the Fish, hitting from the right side out of UAB. Here's the first offering. It gets over the glove of the catcher Troutwine, and heading home is Jacob Brobst. It's 2-1 Chinooks.
So no RBI needed for that one.
How about that?
So Justin Dellinger, 2 runs on 1 hit.
Incredible. Not very often you see that one. 1-0 the count on Matt Ferrudo. Here's the 1-0 offering from Dellinger, and Ferrudo slices that one into center field for a hit. Second hit of the day for the Chinooks, second of the inning. Matt Ferrudo making solid contact on that one. Dellinger left it right over the wheelhouse for Ferrudo. That brings up Cameron Baranek, his second attempt to extend his hitting streak to 8. Grounded out his first time around. As Dellinger, the pitch outside, ball number 1.
Another key stat for Baranek, my favorite stat, reaching base in every single Alaska Baseball League game he has participated in.
Here's the 1-0 to Baranek, a big swing and a miss. Evens the count up at 1-1. Still 1 out in the top of the third. Chinooks with a run in the second, now a run in the third inning. Making up for the 1 run, the Glacier Pilots got home in the first off of Connor Benez. So Dellinger, he's ready. Here's the 1-1, and Baranek bounces it towards first, but it'll be wide of the bag. It'll be a foul ball. Count goes 1-2. The other ball club that calls Mulcahy Stadium home, the Anchorage Bucks, they're up north in Fairbanks, squaring off between the Gold Panthers, a doubleheader today. The Bucks won the first game of that one by a score of 4-1. It took an hour and a half through 7 innings. Baranek bangs that ball foul. Doubleheaders in the Alaska Baseball League are 7-inning affairs. But an hour and 30 minutes is all it took for the Bucks to take that one. And in game number 2, they lead 8-5 to the Bucks. And if they win that one, as that pitch is away, the throw down to second, and Ferrudo is going to be gunned down at second base. So there's the second out of the inning. Chinooks another strike away from being run out of an inning. They were run out of the second, what could have really blown up. That's high and outside, ball 3 to Baranek. That second inning could have been much more. They had the bases loaded with nobody out. Sacrifice fly and a fly out to shortstop, doubling up Morton. And Baranek bangs that one foul to the left side, and that gets out of play. But if the Bucks sweep this doubleheader with the Gold Panthers, they would then move to 14-12. And as it stands right now, there's no way the Oilers are coming back to beat the Miners. Baranek fouls another pitch off to the right side. The Oilers trailing by 10, a score of 11-1 in Matsu. That would put the Oilers back to 500 at 12-12. Then the Bucks would have a full game in the American Division. And the Bucks are really starting to play well, hit their stride. On paper, the best team in that division. Payoff pitch to Baranek, he fouls off another one.
And recently, Gary, it's been showing in practice. I mean, I just see them running away with it, honestly.
Yeah. don't count those Oilers out yet. Only a couple of weeks to go in this race. Payoff pitch, Bronick in the air. Left side hooking foul, and it'll get out of play again. Bronick has fouled off 6 pitches in this at-bat. Dellinger up near 43 pitches here in the third. Bronick takes that one inside, ball 4.
So the on-base streak continues.
And when you say works a walk, Cameron Bronick really put that one into practice. And now Andrew Mogg will hit with 2 outs and a runner aboard. Mogg walked and scored back in the second. Led that off. Here's the first offering from Dellinger. Mogg takes it inside corner for a strike. Very, very stiff breeze coming in from left, so Mogg will have to pulverize it and keep it under the wind to even try to get it out tonight. And he hits this one in the air to the right side and out of play. 0-2. Now a ball to the alley and right, however, might get some help with the wind and getting it pulled around around the foul pole. It is a shorter wall. The farther into the pole you go. The 0-2, and that's a bloop job. Right side, and it'll fall into the mitt of Carson Kreitz. And that retires the Chinooks here in the top of the third inning. But they get a run and take a 2-1 lead. And they pick up a couple of base hits, so now the scoreboard doesn't look so awkward. They had a run on no hits coming into this inning. Then they had 2 runs on 1 hit. And then Matt Fruto evened it up, getting the second base hit. But they will leave a runner aboard. But as we were saying, Andrew, about this race to the finish, now it's been one of those that's getting very, very exciting on the other half and very close to a clinch for the Matsu Miners to the top of the World Series.
Well, the Matsu Miners are hands down the best team in this league, and probably one of the best teams in the country for summer collegiate baseball. And the Chinooks have had the unfortunate luck of having faced them a multitude of times, with Connor Menez seeming to be the only guy that can really get to them. He's won 2 games against them. When Connor Menez is not pitching, the Chinooks are winless against the Matsu Miners, but no shame for the Fish, as they're going to try to, obviously fight till the bitter end, see if they can pull the miracle comeback against the Miners. But even if they can, it'll be a tight race for second place with the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And these Fish with a lot to play for have the chance to be the first Chinooks team since the move to Chugiak with a winning record in the Alaska Baseball League.
They were 20-27 overall in 2012. Haven't smelled 20 wins the last 2 years. But they're a talented bunch. Chris Beck has made that known. He has coached every team in Chugiak Eagle River, been in Alaska now for 16 years with athletes in action. Serving as the pitching coach, Connor Menez delivers a ball to Joe Maroney. Here's the 1-0 offering, and he fouls that one off behind the plate. Count moves to 1-1. Chris Beck, like Connor Menez, went to the Masters College. And then Chris Beck reaching the AA level with the Mariners. Outside 2-1 to Joe Maroney. And then Chris served a little bit of time with the Cubs organization. Menez drills outside part of the plate to Maroney. Count evens up at 2-2. And then also Jason Carkenny hit a 3-run home run today in rookie ball for the Milwaukee Brewers with the Helena Brewers of the Pioneer League. 3-2 is now the count on Joe Maroney, proving yet again, Andrew has said it, the NAIA title is not at all a bad thing. Go where you can. There's a foul ball.
If you can play, they will find you.
Yep, a lot of pressure put on young men around the country. Gotta go D1. Gotta go D1. The payoff pitch will miss to Maroney, so he will walk to lead off the bottom of the third. And it's a true statement. A lot of attention, a lot of airtime will come around with college baseball players that go at the higher level you can. And guys like Cameron Baronic and then Braxton Wilkes, that's what they were aiming to do. There's a strike to J.J. Wagner to lead off the at-bat by Connor Menez. Guys that decided that after a year of playing Division I and also last year's center fielder for the Chinooks, Stephen Pollux, very similar deal. Wanted to go D1. There's a ground ball to third. Patrick Cromwell gloves, loses his hat, throw to second, in. No, not in time. Not in time. First and second. Nobody out. Maroney safe on the fielder's choice. How about that? So he doesn't record an out. Now here comes Jack Lebowski. Lebowski squares the bunt, drops at third base line. Menez bounces on it near the line. Throw to first is in time. Gets Lebowski. So one out. And now Adalberto Carrillo hitting with one out. Connor Menez hits the outside part of the plate for a strike. Apologies for the pause. And the unit scored. Had a scoring correction, actually going to give the error on a dropped pitch that was in time at second base. So 0-1 on Carrillo, and Menez fires it past him. Guy who plays at USC, and you're getting a true look at what it's like in terms of talent. You know, playing Division I versus going JUCO versus NAIA or Division II, et cetera, et cetera. Baseball is one of those weird games that all goes away. There's a pitch away, makes it 1-2, still one out in this bottom of the third inning.
Well, you know, a community college team once beat the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yep. Hey, it's one of those deals. Here's the 1-2, low. 2-2 on Carrillo. Yeah, it's just titles go out the way, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're from the University of Southern California or if you play at a small JUCO in the state of Nebraska or Iowa. Yeah, you never know, and you know it just becomes 9 men versus 9 men.
It's the beauty of the sport, really.
It really is. As Chris Beck likes to say, it's one big ugly guy throwing it to another big ugly guy with a stick. And then they run around in a circle. So here's the 2-2 count on Carrillo. Menez sets, fires home. Carrillo hits it back to the mound off the glove of Menez, and he's going to get the runners caught in a rundown, but then Menez can't pick it back up, and the runner will score.
That hurts. Ow.
So Menez looked like he was going to grab the comebacker.
It's like a double play ball.
Yeah. Looked like he was going to get the comebacker, and
I couldn't have a double play ball, really. I mean, maybe. But.
Then he looked like he wasn't going to get the guy at first, but then he looked like he might have had J.J. Wagner caught between second and third. But he goes and tries to pick the ball up with his mitt. Doesn't pick it up cleanly. And the runner, Maroney, comes home and scores. Wagner on to third. Here's Gunnar Troutwine, takes first pitch, outside corner for a called strike number 1. Menez with the 0-1. Over the first, it looks like he picked them off, and not in time. Didn't get the tag there. He had Carrillo with a step towards first, had the double take before he slid back to the base, but the tag just wasn't there. So Menez is ready. Here's the 0-1 to Troutwine. Down and inside, blocked by Mogg at the plate.
And this is not good for the Chinooks. Connor Menez pitching well, should be out of this inning, but they won't count towards the old ERA. But let me tell you, this one bites.
Here's the 1-1. Troutwine hits it down the right line, but that'll go foul. Count goes to 1-2. Troutwine singled in the second. Was left at second base. Catcher from Wichita State. Coming into play, hitting just 155. Here's the 1-2 offering from Menez. And inside, brushed him off the plate. Count moves to 2-2. Not a bad spot for that. So 2-2 is the count against Troutwine. He stands back in. Menez fires the 2-2, swung on, and jammed him as he sends it towards second base. Will Bass has it. That's David Morton. And he picks it up, throws on to Troutwine, but it'll be an RBI for Troutwine as the runner Wagner comes home and scores. And now the Glacier Pilots have a 3-2 lead. And for the first time this season, Connor Menez has allowed more than 2 runs in a ball game. First offering downstairs.
How many of them earned?
Now, all of them will be earned. I mean, all those ball games he gave up the same amount of runs as earned runs. Tonight, though, the earned run category still has a chance to extend. Only 2 runs of them earned against him this evening. But here's the 2-0 to Tuccio. And he's going to be low 3-0. And we might see Chris Beck come on out there before the end of this inning. Menez is nearing 70 pitches in the third. Does have 2 outs. Only takes 1 pitch to get out of it with 2 outs. Low and outside, ball 4. Alex Tuccio will go down to first base.
It doesn't really look like the regular Connor Menez start that you see.
He's still been good. He's still worked both sides of the plate. And getting guys out, blowing guys away. He does have 4 strikeouts already. And he's making guys miss, and that's how you can tell. But the only difference is the 2 errors have extended innings today, especially this one we're in. 2 of them in this inning alone. First offering to Kyle Watson, misses upstairs, ball 1, and this is kind of the groove we get to with Menez, just losing his control here and there as Chris Beck will trot out there and calm down his fellow Mustang.
And you see Tyler Boxville trotting out of the bullpen.
Yep. So we'll see what they do there, but really and truly, I mean, Connor understands he should be out of this inning, but compounding errors have allowed it to continue. And walks and errors will do that. So it's going to be a quick meeting. Beck will trot back to the third base dugout of the Chinooks, and Menez will Try to make Kyle Watson the last out of this third inning. But through this 2 2/3 so far, just 3 base hits, 3 runs allowed, 1 of them earned. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. He's ready. Here's the 1-0, and Watson fouls it back. It's one of those deals where you see Justin Verlander give up 4 or 5 runs. He's still Justin Verlander. He's still going to get guys out. He's still going to throw gas, and that's exactly how Conor Menez would be treated through my vantage point right now. Outside 2-1, still going to get guys out, still going to throw hard and
still the
work
ace.
Guys, but
No question about that.
Yeah, 3 runs is a oddity from him, but
I'm more worried about the pitch count than I am about anything else.
He may only last 5 tonight. Whoa, 2-1 again. You now struggled to get the control back, but he could use a long rest at the top of the 4th when the Chinooks go back out there to hit. 3-1 to Watson. Here's the offering, and he fouls it back to the right side of home plate. Count will be full now.
So Menez a pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Yep, but
as he has been. 2 outs.
Both base runners will be off on this one. Carrillo at second, Tuccio at first, and a 3-2 game in charge of the Pilots. Payoff pitch fouled off first base side. Count will stay full. A walk and an error to lead off the inning, then a sacrifice bunt. Then another error to get Carrillo on board. RBI ground out for Troutwine, put the Glacier Pilots up by a score of 3-2. Menez is ready. Here was the payoff pitch, and that's fouled off. Just got a piece of it. And Kyle Watson. Watson walked his first time to the plate. Menez is ready with the payoff pitch. Swung on, fouled back again. Seeing the kind of at-bat that Cameron Boronic had against Dellinger. And now we're just in a stalemate here in the 3rd inning. And this looks like the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. Just a couple of guys bouncing around the ring with no results. Here's the payoff again. Fouled off yet again. Three and 2 is the count still on Kyle Watson. A 3-2 ball game. Glacier Pilots on top of the Chinooks. Menez is ready. The payoff again. Swung on, fouled off.
This is exciting baseball, folks.
5 times Watson has fouled off the payoff pitch. Conor Menez can't catch a break. His pitch count soaring now in the 80s through 3 innings. There is work in the Chinooks bullpen. Looks like Ted Christie. The guys have plenty of relievers out there that can go distance. And Watson finally gets one into play. It's grounded to third. Patrick Cromwell has it. The throw to first just in time. As a good stretch from Holt Davis retires the 3rd inning. We have played 3. It's the Pilots 3 and the Chinooks 2. We'll be right back. You're listening to Chinooks Baseball.
Top of the fourth inning here at Mulcahy Stadium in beautiful downtown Anchorage, Alaska. The Glacier Pilots lead this one by a score of 3-2. David Morton here to start things off. First pitch from Dellinger finds the zone, a called strike. Morton, his last time up, reached on an error on what was a sacrifice bunt attempt, and Morton takes that upstairs and away, evens the count up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Morton, the pride of Cincinnati, fouls that one back over the Chinook dugout, out of play, moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Morton plays his college ball close to home. Xavier University awaits the 1-2, and Morton fouls that one again over the Chinook dugout, staying alive. Morton 1 for 4 yesterday. Dellinger shaking off the catcher Troutwine. He shakes him off again. He got what he wanted here, the 1-2. And Morton rips that one foul hard down the left field line, out of play again. So 3 straight foul balls for David Morton, keeping him in this at-bat. One, 2 again from Dellinger. And a foul ball down the left field line, out of play again from David Morton.
David Morton and Kyle Watson should get the Jamie Carroll Award for wasting pitches in this last 2 at-bats.
1-2 again, and Morton hits that one right up the middle, grabbing it but overthrowing. Jack Lebowski at first is the shortstop, and that one sails out of play. So David Morton will advance to second on the error on the throw.
Gets a single for the hit and then the error on the throw.
I completely agree. That's exactly the right way to do it.
Airmail from Kyle Watson.
So now David Morton at second. Nobody out here. Braxton Wilkes is up. Braxton Wilkes playing his baseball next year at Abilene Christian, and he shows bunt but pulls back and takes that one on the outside, ball 1. Wilkes, a native of Houston, Texas. A city what should be most famous for where Taylor White played his college ball. 1-0 from Dellinger. Showing bunt again is Braxton Wilkes, but he fouls that one back to the catcher. Evens the count up 1-1. Like Garrett mentioned earlier, Braxton Wilkes with the neon yellow batting gloves. One, and swinging there is Braxton Wilkes. He grounds it back to the pitcher, who tosses it over to first base for the first out of the inning. So no advance there from David Morton as Dellinger immediately turns to him. That was a little pump fake preventing the advance. So 1 down here in the top of the 4th. David Morton at second and Holt Davis to the plate. Holt Davis, his last time up, the sacrifice fly into left field. Scored the Chinooks their first run of the game. And another potential RBI situation for the first baseman out of UAB here. Davis came into this game a 169 mark on the year, and big swing and a miss from Holt Davis there on the first pitch. 0-1. With 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. Dellinger from Texas State. That's a school that competes in the WAC. Check that, the Sun Belt. They play in the WAC in football. Maybe not even anymore. Maybe they played 1 year in the WAC. The WAC ain't what it used to be, let me tell you. Back in the day when they had Boise State, they were all set for TCU to come over there. But
then the Mountain West and the Big 12 came calling.
No kidding. 1-1. And Holt Davis takes that one upstairs, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike.
It's just a shame that Texas A&M didn't stick around because that would have been a great conference with all the schools in Texas in the same conference.
Would have kind of brought it back to the old Big 8.
Would have been really nice because it would be really great if they could have gotten to swing the University of Houston there as well, and
maybe even SMU, and then you really got it
and
going.
you've really got it going on, and
that would have been fun.
There was a lot of competition between those schools when they play.
And Davis takes on the outside there, makes it a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, with 1 out here. Davis leading the team in batting average early in the season, but it's been night and day since then. 3-2. And Davis grounds that one hard to the third baseman, Carrillo, who throws it to Lebowski at first for the second out of the inning. So David Morton leads things off with a single that turned into a double on the error on the throw, but 2 Chinooks have come to the plate since then and unable to even advance Morton to third. So now Will Bass, the last hope for the Fish to try to tie this one up. Bass hit into a weird double play. The F6 throw to second base, and he's going to foul the first pitch back. Moves the count to 0-1. Bass from Wayland Baptist. Wayland Baptist, the school of the person who used to sit in my chair, former Chinooks broadcaster Jordan Harrod. The 0-1 from Dellinger. And Bass fouls that one in the dirt at the plate again. So quickly falling behind in this at-bat is Will Bass. 0-2 the count. The Chinooks in danger of wasting yet another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. So Bass steps back into the box. 0-2 the count. Dellinger sets, delivers, and that's going to be on the outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. To Will Bass, a guy who, he's either striking out or making heavy contributions, and that one bounces in the dirt about 5 feet short. And dirt's a strong term because there's no actual dirt. It's turf field. But that one barely even got to the part of the turf that's supposed to look like dirt. Evens the count up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dellinger on the outside there. So a full count on Will Bass, a battle here. 2 guys that play in Jordan Vieira's home state of Texas. And Bass fouls that one down the third base line. Staying alive in this at-bat. Looked to be just a get me through that swing. Just putting a piece of the wood on it. Staying alive. 3-2 the count, the pitch. And Bass fouls that one back. So if your favorite aspect of baseball is long extended foul ball at bats, you are listening to the right game tonight.
I think both lineups have the same strategy. It's waste pitches, get to the bullpen early. And it's working.
3-2 again. And Bass rips that one into center field. A base hit coming around third to score is David Morton. There's going to be a play at the plate. The throw is in time for the third out of the inning. So Luke Hamblin throws a rocket to Gunnar Troutwine at home plate to gun down David Morton for the third out of the inning. So the Chinooks fail to score in the top of the 4th, and we are in the middle of 4. And the score still 3-2 in favor of the Glacier Pilots. Jordan Vieira quickly out to have a word with the home plate umpire. but Jordan Vieira not trying to get thrown out of one of his last games with this ball club. But we are in the middle of 4, and it looks like Connor Menez's night is over. Jason Carkenny, the second punch of the Master College rotations 1-2 punch, is out to try to keep the Chinooks in this ball game, and fittingly so. So as Jason Carkenny takes his warm-up pitches, we're going to step off for just a second. Middle of 4, 3-2 Glacier Pilots. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. We'll be right back. Give me like 15. So we head into the bottom of the 4th inning. The new pitcher for the Chinooks, Jason Carkenny from the Masters College. First pitch from Jason. And taking on the outside there from the batter, Carson Kreitz. 1-0 the count. Tough pill to swallow from the top of the 4th. David Morton gunned down at home to end the inning. And Carkenny finds the inside part of the zone. Fastball evens the count up 1-1. Jason's brother Steven hit a dinger today against the Helena Brewers, and Carson Kreitz lines that one right over the glove of Patrick Cromwell for a base hit. Cromwell about half an inch away from leaping to grab that one. But the Glacier Pilots have a man on with nobody out to start the bottom of the 4th inning, and back to the top of the order with Luke Hamblin. The Central Florida night to be, Luke Hamblin, 1 for 2 on the day, single fly out, and going there and grabbing a bag is Carson Kreitz. So now a runner on second with nobody out for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots.
They are second in the league in stolen bases, and they continue to go.
Well, they got to score somehow. They don't usually hit. We'll say the bats have been picking up a little bit recently. And just as I say that, Luke Hamblin, a hard ground ball into the glove of a sliding David Morton, who tosses it over to first for the out. Advancing to third on that play is Carson Kreitz. So with 1 out and a runner on third here in the bottom of the 4th inning, it will be Joe Maroney, the Kansas Jayhawk. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Another Big 12 guy playing in the Alaska Baseball League this year. Maroney's certainly not as highly touted as some of the other names we've seen in this league. They're all hitting about 200. 0-1. And that one bounces in the dirt. Almost gets past Andrew Mogg, and that would have really been eerily similar to the Jacob Brost leadoff single. Leadoff infield single at plus stolen base, plus sacrifice. And if that had been a pass ball, it would have been literally identical. But 1-1 the count with 1 out. Carkenny deals, and that's fouled down the third base line, out of play, moves the count to 1-2. Maroney came into the game a 179 mark. He's 0 for 1 on the day, picked up a walk back in the third as well. The 1-2 from Carkenny. And that misses on the outside, evens the count up 2-2. Jason tied for the lead in strikeouts for the Masters College with Connor Menez, the 2-2. And fouled back there by Joe Maroney, extending this at-bat. And at the rate we're going, Garrett, we're just going to extend every single at-bat and have no pitchers left. And it'll be Jamie Ball versus Luke Hamblin. 2-2. And Maroney lifts that one foul out of play. And it's a great day to be a fan on the left field side. Gosh. 3 balls. Need to call Jackson Beck, tell him to get me my Glacier Pilots ball I need. 2-2 the count. And that one, a base hit, ripped into left field. Coming in to score is Carson Kreitz. And now the score, 4-2 in favor of the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. An RBI single from Joe Maroney. So 5 innings of scoreless relief from Shane Armstrong yesterday. No such scoreless relief today from Jason Carkenny. Already an earned run. And that's a bloop shot on the first pitch. Coming in to grab it is Jacob Brose for the second out of the inning. That one looked like it couldn't have dropped, but a few extra seconds of hang time allowed for the Ohio State Buckeye in right field to come in and make the easy catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 down and a man on first for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. 4-2 the score in favor of the Big City Boys. Pickoff attempt there from Carkenny. Jack Lebowski, the batter. And Carkenny with the aggressive pickoff attempts there. He does not look happy about the way things have turned out so far this inning. First pitch of the at-bat. Breaking ball misses low. The count 1-0 on the first baseman from Duke University. And Lebowski grounds that one sharply to the shortstop, Will Bass, who throws a rocket to Holt Davis at first for the third out of the inning. So the Glacier Pilots tack on one more. And we have played 4 innings and the score 4-2 Anchorage Glacier Pilots. We're going to step off for just a second, but we'll be back with all the action at the top of the 5th. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. Welcome back to the top of the 5th inning. Due up for the Chinooks, Brobst, Cromwell, Ferrudo. And the first pitch at the top of the 5th from Dellinger is ripped into center field, a base hit for Jacob Brobst. So another multi-hit game for Jacob Brobst. And Brobst, another guy. A strong case for perhaps an appearance in the All-Star game on Sunday, but only a select few human beings know who will be playing in that game. But we'll all know soon enough. So with A man on first, Patrick Cromwell to the plate. First pitch to Cromwell, and Cromwell's going to rip that into the same spot in left center field. And Jacob Ropes trying to extend it to third. And the throw will be not in time. So mark that as a single for Patrick Cromwell, but he advances to second on the throw. So runners at second and third with nobody out for Matt Ferrudo. Dellinger getting hit hard. The first two batters that he sees just rocking the first pitch. And this is an opportunity that the Chinooks cannot squander. Runners in scoring position, second and third, nobody out. And Matt Ferrudo to the plate. First pitch to Ferrudo, taken on the outside, ball one. Ferrudo on the day, 1 for 2, single and a strikeout. The UAB Blazer. The 1-0. And Ferrudo fouls that one back towards the Glacier Pilot dugout. Evens the count up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ferrudo 253 on the season coming into today's contest, 11 ribbies. And Dellinger shaking off the catcher Troutwine, shaking him off again. He got what he wanted there, the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be taken on the inside part of the zone, a called strike 2. So 1-2 the count to Matt Ferrudo. A guy who slumped a little, but he's been seeing the ball pretty well over the past couple of days. And here comes the 1-2 from Dellinger, and that one bounces outside of the dirt. And Troutwine having to move a couple feet over there to prevent the pass ball, and Jacob Ropes actually scored on a pass ball.
Yeah. I'm just going to say he might have saved another run for almost the exact same situation right there.
Yeah.
Just a couple innings ago.
So 2-2 the count to Matt Ferrudo. And he's going to step back into the box, and a big spot here for the Chinooks. And here comes the 2-2 from Dellinger. And Ferrudo rips that one into left center field. A base hit coming home to score is Jacob Ropes, and now the score. 4-3 in favor of the Pilots. An RBI single for Matt Ferrudo. He's 12th RBI of the year. And still nobody out. The Chinooks have runners at first and third with Cam Baronic coming to the plate. And a mound visit here from the Pilots. And Justin Dellinger not looking like the same pitcher that we saw earlier this game. And he didn't look that good earlier. But allowing base hits into left center field to the first 3 batters he's seen. And the Texas State product looks to be nearing the end of his day. But the pitching coach going to head back into the dugout. Interesting fact about the Pilots coaching staff. Stu Peterson, one of the coaches for the Pilots, he is the father of Jock Peterson of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
He's okay.
Started the All-Star game, runner-up in the Home Run Derby. A guy that looks to have a very bright future in Major League Baseball. First pitch to Cam Baronic, taken on the outside, ball 1. 4-3 Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Patrick Cromwell at third. Matt Ferrudo at first. Cam Baronic at the plate, 1-0 the count. The pitch from Dellinger, and swing and a miss there from Baronic, evens the count up 1-1. He swung at a ball there. Dellinger getting him to chase. Barana came to this game 284, 17 runs, 10 RBIs, 5 extra base hits. And Barana shows bunt there, but bunts it foul back to the Chinook dugout.
Looking to safety squeeze with first and third. Not a bad thought at all. Barana, a guy that could bunt and hit, so he can drive runs in a multiple different ways.
Honestly, I'm just waiting for Barana to come in and pitch. This guy seems like he can do it all. Maybe coach?
He might have to here soon. The only thing he hasn't done is pitch today, or this year.
1-2 the count. And Barana, a ground ball. And that's going to be tossed back from the first baseman. The second baseman, Kreitz, coming in to first to catch the ball and make the out. So Matt Fruto advances to second on the very strange 3-4. Well, not that strange. So now with runners at second and third and 1 out, Andrew Mogg to the plate.
It is on a play at first. Don't see it very often.
First pitch to Moggy. And that one finds the zone, a called strike. Three hits this inning so far for the Chinooks. And they hope not to be done yet. Mogg calling time there. And if you're a Matsu Miners fan, Merry Christmas. 17-1. Their score over the Oilers there. Andrew Mogg taking outside ball 1.
Puts the Oilers back to 12-12, and the Anchorage Bucks will come back to Mulcahy Field after a sweep in Fairbanks. They're up by a full game now.
Here's the 1-1 from Dellinger, and Mogg rips that one to the first baseman, Lebowski, who's going to take it to first himself, and now Matt Ferrudo caught in a rundown. And they're going to get someone here, it looks like, and caught in a pickle, but Patrick Cromwell ran into Gunnar Trautwein and fell down, and Jordan Vieira wants the interference call. But Jordan Vieira being careful to not get thrown out of this game. So a very weird play there, as I'm almost having a very difficult time explaining what just happened. But Lebowski takes it to first himself and then tries to get Matt Ferrudo back, catches Matt Ferrudo in the pickle. Then Patrick Cromwell tries to advance, and they eventually get Patrick Cromwell in the pickle. I cannot tell you who threw it to who necessarily. But it was a double play of sorts. Good luck scoring that one. So we have played 4.5 innings. The Chinooks tacked on one more in the top of the 5th, but stranded a couple of guys. And the Glacier Pilots still lead this one 4-3. Jason Carkenny out for his second inning of work.
The weird part was Trautwein there at the end. They got the out with the third baseman, but it looked like he was there and might have had some interference. But I'm not sure how that one will escape.
Scoring line.
Not a bad question to ask. So we head into the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-3, Anchorage Glacier Pilots. And Alberto Carrillo to start things off, and he grounds the first pitch to Patrick Cromwell, who cannot hold on. So an error on the third baseman, Cromwell. And the leadoff guy on. Yet again for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and that's going to bring up Gunnar Troutline, the catcher from Wichita State. Troutline on the day. 1 for 2. He singled back in the second, grounded out in the third.
They've had the leadoff man aboard all 5 times tonight.
First pitch from Jason Carkenny in the zone, a called strike 1. Nothing and 1 the count. Carkenny. And just misses there. Evening up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Troutline with the Justin Turner hair. The Ramon Castro body. Two balls, 1 strike. Carkenny sets, delivers. And that's a fly ball into center field. Chasing back is Cam Baronic, but he's going to get under it and make the grab for the first down of the inning. So now Sienna's Alex Tuccio to the plate.
Tuccio walking up to Bad Blood by Taylor Swift, and it's almost automatic. I got to give a shout out to the boy, Caden Owens, who is now back home in Jinx, Oklahoma, resting up, looking forward to surgery. We're missing you already, bud.
And Tuccio fouls that one out of play. But yeah, Caden, we miss you. What a guy, Caden Owens. Class act. Great dude.
One of the biggest Taylor Swift fans I've ever met, but you know what? It's rubbed off on all of us.
Nothing in 1 the count to Alex Tuccio. Carkenny delivers. And the runner goes. The throw to second will be, and that's going to be in time. Andrew Mogg connects with David Morton there to get Abelderto Carrillo on the steal attempt. So now 2 outs to Alex Tuccio. And that pitch taken for a called strike 2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 5th inning, the Glacier Pilots lead 4-3. The pitch from Carkenny, and that's grounded weakly to the first baseman, Holt Davis. He's going to take it himself for the 3rd out of the inning. So no runs on no hits, nobody left aboard for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, and we have played 5.
An unconventional 1-2-3 inning. How about that? We've seen one.
And it is 4-3 Anchorage. Glacier Pilots will be right back here for the 6th. You are listening to Chinooks Radio. Top of the 6th we go. The new pitcher for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, Brett Brown. from Lamar University. He comes in with a 1.46 ERA, 2 earned runs over 12 and a thirds innings pitch, and he's going to face David Morton to start off the top of the 6th here. First pitch in the zone for a called strike. 4-3 Anchorage. Glacier Pilots is your score. Here comes the 1-0 from Brett Brown, or the 0-1. And that one misses, so it evens the count up 1-1. That one was on the inside at the knees for David Morton. Morton singled his last time up. And he fouls that one back over the screen. Moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. David Morton, the everyday second baseman at Xavier University. In Cincinnati, Ohio, competing in the Big East. Here comes the 1-2, and that one's going to be up and away from Brett Brown. 2-2 the count now. Morton finally opting to get a haircut. And then opting to lift that one into right field. But under it to make the grab. Joe Maroney for the first out of this inning. So an F9 in your books for David Morton, and we have 1 down. And Braxton Wilkes the batter. Wilkes on the day. 0 for 1 with a walk. He'll be playing his college ball at Abilene Christian next year. And awaits the first pitch from Brett Brown, and that one finds the zone for a called strike. Lamar University, also in Texas, as is Abilene Christian. And swinging a miss there from Braxton Wilkes, falling behind in the count 0-2 against Brett Brown. Brett Brown's Lamar Cardinals, playing the same conference as his teammate Carson Kreitz, Southeast Louisiana Lions. 0-2, and swinging a miss, strike 3. Brett Brown's first punch out of the day. And now with 2 down in the top of the 6th. The batter is going to be Holton Davis. Davis flew out and grabbed himself an RBI his first time up and did not get a hit his second time up. So 0 for 2, I guess, or 0 for 1 maybe. First pitch from Brett Brown in there for a called strike. And unlike Justin Dellinger, Brett Brown finding the zone here in his first inning of work. And that one finds the zone again, so 0-2. Every single Chinook batter falling behind in the count to Brett Brown. And he's 1-2. He's almost a 1-2-3 pitch thing away, but that one's low. Moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 from Brett Brown. And Holt Davis lifts that one into deep left field, but under it to make the grab is J.J. Wagner for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Chinooks go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 6th. And now we're going to bring you the out-of-town scoreboard. But before we do that, just a reminder that Chinooks Radio is brought to you by our friends at BP. BP, powering Alaska's future. So now the out-of-town scoreboard, presented by Healthwise. So at Grounded Memorial Park this morning, at 3 o'clock, the first game of a doubleheader, the Anchorage Bucks defeating the Alaska Gold Panthers by a score of 4-1. And in the second game of that doubleheader, it's the bottom of the 7th. And keep in mind that doubleheaders here in the ABL are just 7-inning games. So bottom of the 7th, the Gold Panthers down to their last hope, and the Anchorage Bucks lead 8-5, looking to lock up that one. Game could easily be over. The Gold Panthers don't really know how to use point streak. And of course, the Matsu Miners defeating the Peninsula Oilers by a score of 17-1. The game took just 2 hours and 26 minutes. But now in the bottom of the 6th, it's going to be Kyle Watson to lead things off for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. 4-3 Glacier Pilots. Your score here at Mulcahy Stadium in downtown Anchorage, Alaska. The 0-1 from Carkenny, and that's upstairs. Ball 1 evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carkenny, the 1-1. And that one on the inside. Dodging away from it is Kyle Watson. Moves the count to 2-1. And Watson checking his swing there, but no luck. The count 2-2. And here's the 2-2 pitch from Carkenny. Breaking ball in the zone, called strike 3. The first strikeout of the day for Jason Carkenny. Gets Kyle Watson looking. So now Carson Kreitz to the plate, but like we talk about the NAIA, D1, whatever, as Kreitz takes on the inside ball 1. The guy from the Masters College just put down a guy from Ole Miss looking, made him look silly. Just 2. And Kreitz lifts that one into center field, not deep. Cam Baronic under it, makes the grab. So 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th for Jason Carkenny, and that's going to bring back up the top of the order for the Glacier Pilots and Luke Hamblin. Hamblin 1 for 3. He singled back in the first, came around to score the first run of this ballgame. Hamblin came into this contest batting a .317 mark on the season. First pitch to Hamblin, upstairs, ball 1. The 1-0. And that one's in the dirt on the inside. Moves it to 2-0. Luke Hamblin will be an all-star. Takes in there for a strike. I mean, the Pilots have to send someone who plays the field, statistically speaking. He's one of the few guys that would really be a lock-in. Carrillo, Kevin Veers. Kevin Veers might start the all-star game with Michael Staudinger not going to be able to play in that one. 3-1. And that's ripped into center field, a base hit. So Luke Hamblin aboard, and with 2 outs, the Pilots have a guy on first. Now Joe Maroney to the plate.
Now batting right fielder number 2, Joe Maroney.
Maroney, his last time up, an RBI single. That is the difference in this ball game right now. Pickoff attempt from Carkenny, not in time as Hamblin slides back into first safely. 2 outs, a man on first. Bottom 6, 4-3 Pilots. Carkenny, breaking ball finds the zone on the inside. 0-1 the count. Like we said earlier, Jason's older brother Steven hit a tank today, and Maroney lifts that one over the head of Patrick Cromwell into left field. For us, another base hit. So now men on first and second for the Glacier Pilots. And lightly jogging to the bullpen is Teddy Christie. And that means something.
Now batting here is the college left fielder number 7, J.J. Wagner.
It's like Shane getting loose as well. So this switch it up.
First pitch from Carkenny. In the zone, a called strike. J.J. Wagner, the batter. Wagner 1 for 3 on the day. 0-1. And that one's in the dirt. But Mog right on top of it to prevent the advance from the runners. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and second, bottom of the 6th here. 4-3. Glacier Pilots the score. The Chinooks trying to pick up their first win, since they've lost 3 in a row. One. And that one finds the outside part of the plate for a called strike 2. Moves the count to 1-2. So Jason Carkenny 1 strike away from getting himself out of this inning, or just 1 out of any sort. As clouds starting to roll over Mulcahy Field. Getting a little chillier. The pitch. And that's grounded to the shortstop, Will Bass, coming in on it. The throw to first is going to be in time to the stretching Holt Davis, using all of his 6'5" frame to reach out and grab that one. So the Glacier Pilots cannot tack one on in the bottom of the 6th, and we have played 6. The score 4-3. Anchorage. Glacier Pilots, we're going to step off, but we'll be right back for the top of the 7th. Things getting heated here. You are listening to Chinooks Radio.
Seventh inning of play here at Mulcahy Stadium. And Anchorage, Alaska Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots in a doozy. Glacier Pilots holding a 1-run lead over the boys from Chugiank River. And Brett Brown on the hill for his 2nd inning of relief. For the Glacier Pilots, he'll face Will Bass, Jacob Brobston, and Patrick Cromwell at the top of the order. Delivers low and away, ball 1 to Will Bass. Bass with a single his last time up. And it takes that one up and away, ball 2. But with that single, David Morton was gunned out at the plate, so Will didn't have a chance to really extend the inning. He yanks that one towards the first baseman. Jack Lebowski, he'll take it to the bag himself for the out. 1 gone for Jacob Brobst, who is aboard 2 for 2 today. Brobst out of Ohio State, hitting .292 coming into play. He'll go over 300 depending on how his day ends. In all likelihood, getting on board, 387 is his average on base. There's another ball. Brown with the cutter, missing away. As the wind really whipping now, clouds starting to roll in towards downtown, and that's going to be a pitch on the outside part of the plate for a strike. Had some showers threatening earlier today, but got nothing of it. Had rain through much of pregame and the first couple innings of last night's game. but finished dry. There's a strike on the 1-2 to Brobst. And now some clouds making their way over. There is a mountain range behind us to the north. And usually the showers will come in off of that. The 2-2 breaking ball just a bit high. The appeal in the field says no, so Brobst with a full count. Brobst has singled and scored twice also. Came home on a wild pitch his first time. He was batted in by Matt Fruto. That one just high, ball 4. So Brobst trots to first base for the third time today. His 11th walk on the season. And now Patrick Cromwell. Cromwell singled his last time around, making him 1 for 2 officially. Does have a sacrifice bunt to go with it. 7 base hits for the Chinooks, but they trail it 4-3. There's a ground ball. Back to the mound. Brown has it. Underhand flip to Lebowski at first is in plenty of time, so there's 2 gone. Brobst on his way to second. We are in the top of inning number 7. Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots in a 1-run ball game, and it's just been a game that has taken its way on, or just dragged. Here we are already 2 hours in, and we're only in the 7th inning, so 2 outs for Matt Fruto. He has a pair of hits today as well. First offering, he hits that one through the hole on the right side. It's a base hit. Brobst coming around third. He's going to try to score. The throw is cut off. It comes to the plate. They're not going to get him. Brobst slides behind the tag and ties the ball game at 4. Second RBI on the day for Matt Fruto. How about Jacob Brobst having the wherewithal, knowing with 2 outs he's got to hustle around third base. And he does so, and this game is tied at 4. 3-hit day for Matt Fruto. Give him 2 RBIs now. Here's Cameron Baranek, 0 for 2 with a walk. First offering to Baranek. Inside, missing, ball 1. Throw over to first, not in time. Blocked by Lebowski. Fruto back. And that's downstairs with the throw over. Cameron Baranek trying to extend his hitting streak to 8 games. Here's the 1-0 offering, and Brown delivers it low. Two and 0 to Baranek. Brown will step off. Brett Brown, he's 2-1. So now Justin Dellinger is knocked off with the win. There's outside corner. Justin Dellinger cannot win this game any longer. And Connor Menez can no longer lose it. We are back to even in the 7th. 2-1 to Baranek. Here's the pitch from Brown. It skips in there, gets away from Cameron Comer, and on his way to second as Fruto makes a turn at second base, but he'll hold up there as the wild pitch advances Fruto in scoring position, so when a base hit could give the Fish the lead. Brett Brown, who has been a solid reliever out of Lamar for the Glacier Pilots, coming undone just a bit in this inning. Here's the 3-1 offering to Baranek. Swings, hits this one in the air, right side of the infield. Under it is Carson Kreitz, makes the catch in shallow right field for the final out of the 7th. So we go to stretch time in Anchorage. Chinooks 4, the Glacier Pilots 4. It's stretch time, and we'll take it with them. Take a little break here. You're listening to Chinooks Radio. We'll be right back with more baseball. Jack Lebowski will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning for the Glacier Pilots in a newly tied ball game. 4-4. First offering for Jason Carkenny goes high, ball 1. The second time tonight we have been tied, the first time since the 3rd. 1-0 from Carkenny, and Lebowski laces one into left field. That's going to get down all the way to the wall for extra bases. Wilkes is there to corral it. Lebowski in standing at second base with a leadoff double. And now, for the 6th time in 7 innings, the leadoff man is aboard for the Glacier Pilots. But if my scorebook holds true, which I believe it does, that's just the first extra base hit of this game. So 16 hits combined, all of them singles. There's the bunt by Carrillo to the pitcher, Carkenny. He throws on to first for the out. So sacrifice complete, gets the go-ahead run to third. So Carrillo with the sacrifice. Now Cameron Comer, who is inserted as a defensive replacement for Gunnar Troutwine. Infield drawn in for the Chinooks. Outfield playing him straight up. The first offering, Comer bangs that ball foul to the left side, out of play. Cameron Comer is a high school guy. He'll be heading to Virginia this next year. Hits that one in the air to center. This should score the run. Veronica is under it, makes the catch, tagging and scoring is Jack Lebowski. So, as I said, the tie was re-established, but it does not last long.
That was incredibly brief.
All right. Pitching staff has not been able to hold on to a lead all game or the tie. There's Alex Tuccio. First strike is in there from Jason Carkenny. Just frustrating. See the offense finally get something figured out, but the pitching staff, who's been solid all season long, takes a night off.
Well, I wouldn't even call it a night off. I mean, 2 of the 3 runs allowed by Connor Menez were errors.
Very true. Well, that's, yeah. So some defensive woes, but right now,
I mean, but I completely understand what you're saying.
In a tie
it's tough to watch.
In a tie ball game, everything else is thrown out the window, especially this late. So 1-2 is the count to Alex Tuccio. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. The pitch from Carkenny just off the plate inside.
And remember the stat from yesterday. When the Pilots score more than 4 runs in a game, they are 7-1 now.
Here's the 2-2 from Carkenny. Swung on, fouled off again.
Of course, that statistic does account for the fact that the Pilots usually hold people to about 2 runs per game.
And he fouls that back again.
But you're right, Gary. That's a tough break. Just you get the tie and then immediately a leadoff double from Lebowski.
Happens when you leave him over the plate. 2-2, fouled off again. But some work in the Chinooks bullpen. Ted Christie throwing again for the second time tonight. Carkenny really working, trying to get the bullpens through yet another inning. That's in the dirt. Blocked by Mogg. Of course, for Connor Menez, he's got a pitch at some point this next weekend, being Wednesday, with the Scout Showcase coming up. With all 6 teams will play 2 games this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And there's strike 3 called from Carkenny. So after 7, it is 5-4 Glacier Pilots. We'll be back for the 8th inning with more Alaska Baseball League action. Into the 8th inning we go. Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots teetering back and forth, back and forth. The Pilots with a 5-4 lead, and Mogg grounds the first pitch he sees to the third baseman, Carrillo. He throws across a diamond for the first out of the inning. So Mogg retired to begin the 8th. Brings up David Morton, then Braxton Wilkes will follow.
And Mogg's hitting streak in jeopardy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, so is Baranix. Baranix 0 for 3. So is Ferrudo, with Mogg.
Fruto is
Ferrudo
not
having-
over 3.
Ferrudo 3
Having a
for
good day.
4.
What a guy.
Gonna have to recap here very soon. That first offering from Brett Brown bounces in there about 57 feet to the plate to David Morton. The Pilots, they got the first lead of this ball game in the bottom of the first. Then, and that pitch skips in there to Morton, makes it 2-0. Then the Chinooks tied it at the top of the second. Then they took the lead 2-1 in the top of the third. Then the Glacier Pilots struck back in the bottom of the third with 2. There's a strike from Brett Brown. Goes to 2-1 against David Morton. And then both clubs exchanged runs in the bottom of the fourth and then the top of the fifth to make it 4-3, where we stood for quite some time. The pitch high to David Morton, so it's 3-1 on the Chinooks second baseman today. And then a run from each club again in the seventh. Makes it a 5-4 game. And David Morton takes that ball high, ball 4. And he'll head the first base with 1 gone. Here's Braxton Wilkes. 1 for 2. A walk, a ground out, and a strikeout. Had a pinch hit single in last night's game here at Mulcahy Field. Looking to get back at it in this one. Hitting .267 coming into play. First offering, high and wide from Brett Brown for ball 1. Work in the Chinooks bullpen continues as the right-hander Ted Christie will throw, and all indications are the day for Jason Karkenny are done. And now, in just 1 inning, Connor Menez gets let off the hook for the loss. Justin Dellinger all of a sudden can't win it after pitching 5 strong. And now, Brett Brown is in line for the win. And in line for the loss is Jason Karkenny. There's a pitch that was out of the zone to Braxton Wilkes, so 2-0. Here's the pitch to him, and Braxton grooves this one towards center field, but coming in and making the grab is Luke Hamblin on the run. 2 outs. Back to first is Morton. Holt Davis now. Last hope to get something going in the 8th. As Holt Davis will pass Jacob Brobst, the next guys to hit, but if he can't, getting Jacob Brobst to hit at some point in the 9th inning would be crucial. Here's the first offering to Davis. Takes it upstairs, ball 1 from Brett Brown, and I'll be wondering when the end of the line is for him. Brown has been out there. Now in his 3rd inning of work, a run, a hit, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Swing and a miss from Holt Davis. Evens the count up at 1-1.
All I know, Garrett, is it'd be a real shame if the difference in that ball game, in this ball game, ends up being a double, a bunt, and a sacrifice fly.
Especially after all the hard work the lineup did to get back into this game. There's a swinging strike from Holt Davis. Count now goes to 1-2. Connor Menez unable to go farther than 3 innings tonight. Morton off on the pitch. Swing and a miss from Davis. He is done, and the throw to first is complete to retire the side.
So it's going to be Teddy Christie coming out to throw the bottom of the 8th for the fish.
We'll get the substitution squared away, and we'll be right back for the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to Chugach Eagle River Chinooks Baseball. fires the first pitch of his evening. Low for ball number 1. Ted Christie, on in his 7th appearance, takes the 1-0 in there for a strike. Christie coming in with a record of 1-0, an ERA of 1.29. Does have a save to go with him as well. There is a strike to Kyle Watson. Watson is 0 for 2 today. Walked, grounded out, and struck out. Christie has struck out 15 over his 14 innings of work. Here's the 1-2. A swing and a miss. Make it 16.
And that was a beautiful breaking ball there from Teddy Christie, making Watson
Lunge at it.
just look absolutely silly there.
So after 4 innings of relief from Jason Karkenny, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, struck out 2. He is in line for the loss at the moment. There is a first pitch strike to Carson Kreitz. Top of the order, Luke Hamblin on deck. 1 gone. A 5-4 lead for the Glacier Pilots. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning in Anchorage. Here's the 0-1. Christie breaking ball misses inside. Evens it up at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Just a bit outside. Count moves to 2-1. Carson Kreitz, a single back in the 4th inning, stole second base and ended up scoring to go ahead in the 4th. That's hit the other way towards right and out of play. But Ted Christie, first inning of work here out of Union University. Union. In Jackson, Tennessee. Here's the 2-2 offering, and Kreitz fouls it up and over. Christie. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Here's the 2-2 offering to Kreitz. Breaking ball comes inside, and Kreitz leans out of the way, takes ball 3. The Union playing in the same conference, the Gulf South Conference, as former Chinook Kyle Conkle. That's a Division II program.
That is the Division II baseball conference.
Very good conference down
which
there.
was unfortunate for Union University.
Here's the payoff pitch to Kreitz. Swing and a miss. Christie with another strikeout. And Union trying very hard to recruit Chinooks right-hander C.J. Lewington after his 2-year stint in JUCO in Illinois, trying to get him to come down to Tennessee and join Ted to be part of that rotation. But several offers on the table for CJ to even make a decision at this point. First offering to Hamblin is on the outside corner for a strike from Ted Christie. 5-4 ball game. Glacier Pilots on top of the Chinooks this evening. 5 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Pilots. That's lined right back over the head of the glove of Christie. Making a play at second is Morton, but it won't be in time. An infield single, the 3rd hit of the day for Luke Hamblin. Now 9 hits for the Glacier Pilots tonight. That just got over the mitt of Ted Christie on the mound. Thought he was going to have a chance to get leather on it and make it play. Brings up Joe Maroney. Maroney, 2 for 2 officially, has a sac bunt and a walk. 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the Pilots, 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors for the Chinooks. There's a big cut and a miss from Maroney to lead off the at-bat. Christie working out of the stretch for the first time. Works for third base side of the rubber. Away from first is Hamblin. Christie sets belt high. Kicks and deals. Outside for a ball. Evens it up at 1-1. The Chinooks will have Will Bass, Jacob Brobst, and Patrick Cromwell in the 9th. They will need at least 1 run. Jacob Probst has scored 3 runs tonight. Every time he's been at the plate, he has scored. There's a ground ball in the hole, backhanded by Will Bass. Long throw, tried to dug out by the first baseman, Holt Davis. But he can't get it. And that'll go down as an error on Will Bass. Tough one, but he had time. So the inning extends again. 4th error on the Chinooks tonight.
That's the difference in this ball game, really, the errors.
The Fish have not committed more than 2 errors in a ball game. The last time this happened, I'm still flipping through my book. You have to go back to June 29th. They had 7 against the Miners when they were beat 13-2. First offering goes high to J.J. Wagner.
That game was probably my least favorite game of the season by a large margin.
Absolutely. Wind starting to gust a little harder. Shadows gone away and a little darker out here now as gray clouds have overtaken much of Anchorage. And Andrew Mogg wants to call time and go get Ted Christie and settle him down real quick. As we are in the bottom of inning number 8, Glacier Pilots trying to extend their lead, get a little cushion. That's low, 2-0. Against J.J. Wagner. Wagner with a double. Back in the first inning, brought home Luke Hamblin. Hard to believe. 17 hits today, only 2 for extra bases. That's in there for a strike from Christie. Ted Cummings sent, belled high, checking the runner at second. He fires home the 2-1, and that's fouled up and over the Chinooks dugout on the third base side. And it'll get out of play, evens the count to 2-2.
That's not J.J. Wagner. That's Kevin Beers.
And, ooh.
No Jack Anderson.
No, that's Beers. Thanks for the heads up, guys. Anyways, 2-2. It's Kevin Beers at the plate. Didn't let us know about the substitution. There's the 2-2, fouled off again.
I was about to say J.J. Wagner. Looks a little bit different. There was no attempt to contact us about that one. Two balls, 2 strikes to the count. The pitch from Christie is fouled back over the screen.
So Beers fouls that off. We stay at 2-2. Kevin Beers, one of those guys that don't really like to see you, especially at the plate, but he is trying to extend the Glacier Pilots lead. They lead by 1. Wind is swirling here at Mulcahy Field. The 2-2 just off the outside corner from Ted Christie. Makes it a full count. Between the changing weather, the tight game, and the hooligans in the stands that have had a few too many alcoholic beverages. Making it tough on the Fish tonight. And Beers hits a shallow pop-up into left field. Braxton Wilkes takes a step back. Now he comes back in and makes the head-high grab to retire the side. We have played 8 full, and the Glacier Pilots have a 5-4 lead. We have the 9th inning. After this break, Chinooks need at least 1 to keep it going. You're listening to Chinooks Radio. We'll be back. We head to the 9th inning. Joe Wainhouse. The first offering to Will Bass is low for ball 1. Joe Wainhouse, a Kent, Washington native. Here's the 1-0. And Will Bass hits this one in the air, deep center, but back is Hamblin. He settles under this one, makes the out. And that is the first out of the 9th inning for the Chinooks. That brings up Jacob Brobst. Brobst has been on base 3 separate times and scored 3 times. First offering from Wainhouse is in there for a strike. Wainhouse has not pitched in a conference game this year for the Glacier Pilots. Did have an appearance in non-conference action. Fires a strike in there to Brobst. He's down 0-2 to begin the at-bat. Top of the order due up next. A 5-4 ball game at Mulcahy Field. Glacier Pilots, as Brobst bangs that ball foul over the first base dugout and out of play. Chinooks need at least a run, and Brobst has been a catalyst all day in that category, scoring 3 of the 4. The 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th innings. He has come around and scored. Wainhouse fires that one low and away. Gloved by Comer behind the plate. Glacier Pilots, really the big difference is the 3rd inning. The Chinooks had 2 errors and 2 runs scored. And Brobst hits one off the end of the bat, and it'll go foul to the right side and get out of play. Maroney walked. Wagner would reach on an error. They were sacrificed by Lebowski, another error to get Carrillo at first base. Here's the 1-2. Brobst takes it. It's be in the dirt, blocked by Comer. Count goes to 2-2. And then Troutwine grounded out and scored the other run. Those are the 2 runs in the 3rd inning. That's going to be the key to this one. Here's the 2-2. Inside, backs Brobst off the plate. Count will run full. So after starting the AB down 0-2, works it back to a full count against Wainhouse. The big 6'7" right-hander winds it up and fires, and that's down and inside. Ball 4 for Jacob Brobst. So Brobst aboard for the 4th time tonight. That'll bring up Patrick Cromwell. Cromwell, in this one, grounded out, sacrifice bunt. A single and then another ground out. Singled back in the 5th inning. The Chinooks got 1 run out of that one. Had 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Cromwell got gunned down between the plate on a weird play to end the inning. Bounce back to the mound. Wainhouse is 2nd for 1, and he throws it in the center. Goes off the glove of the shortstop Watson, and the Fish might have something going here.
I was about to close the books on this game, Garrett. That had a chance for 2.
That should have been a double play ball to end the ball game. And now, let's see what. And Jordan Vieira might need a pinch runner for Cromwell. Looked like he might have nicked a hammy going up the line. So Vieira trots over to first base to check out Patrick Cromwell. And that's an important run over there at first base. That's the go-ahead run. But the important, the important one is at second base. Well, on the bench today, Tyler Boxwell on the bench. Hunter Hanks certainly can get out there and run.
Yeah, Hunter Hanks.
And also,
you can move Morton to 3rd.
You do.
I mean, it's
you
all
have
dependent
options.
on whether Cromwell can.
You need to get a run to worry about the field. But Hunter Hanks taking his stuff off, and he's going to go to first base, most likely, if Cromwell is not cleared here by the trainer. But gets a chance to look at the game, how we got here. Just been a back and forth, both teams exchanging punches. One team scores, the other answers. The Glacier Pilots got off going in the bottom of the first. Hamblin singled, came home on a double by J.J. Wagner. That made it 1-0. The Chinooks got a run in the top of the second. When Andrew Mogg walked, they loaded the bases that inning and got 1 run out of it. So there's a big spot. Then in the third inning, the Chinooks took a 2-1 lead. Jacob Brobst led it off with a single, came home on a wild pitch. That was all that happened that time. And then in the bottom of the third, that was the inning we just talked about. The Chinooks with a couple of errors, and the Glacier Pilots took full advantage of that by getting 2 in the third, and that was really when things changed. But then, in the bottom of the fourth, the Glacier Pilots extended their lead. To 4-2. Then the Chinooks got back in the fifth inning, made it 4-3, and then a run each in the seventh. Makes it 5-4. Here's Matt Fruto. He has 3 hits and 2 RBIs. First pitch from Wainhouse is fouled off down the right side. So he begins the at-bat down a strike. Tying run in scoring position. The third baseman, Carrillo, playing even with the bag at third. First baseman, Lebowski, behind Hunter Hanks at first base, who just checked in to pinch run for Patrick Cromwell. Here's the 0-1 to Fruto. Outside corner, strike 2 from Joe Wainhouse. Cameron Baranek will hit next, barring a double play.
Sure.
Top of inning number 9, 0-2 count against Fruto. Just 1 out. Chinooks at first and second. Wainhouse is ready, working from the stretch, sets chin high. He kicks and deals the 0-2. Fruto jammed and hits it down the right side and foul. 5-4 Glacier Pilots. They've done so on 9 hits and 3 errors. The last error coming just a moment ago when Wainhouse threw away what could have been a game-ending double play off the bat of Patrick Cromwell. Wainhouse coming set, 0-2 against Fruto. He kicks, here's the pitch. Fruto takes it inside corner, called strike 3. Unbelievable. Fruto having a whale of a day at the plate. Watching the third strike, he'll be the second out. So here's Cameron Baranek, left-handed hitting center fielder, 0 for 3, has a walk. If he can get a hit right here, not only would it tie this ball game, but it would extend his hitting streak to 8 games. Wainhouse delivers. Inside ball 1. Cameron Baranek in a similar situation earlier this year in the 13th inning had a 3-run triple. A couple days later, he went down with the PCL injury. He swings, grounds this ball first base side. Lebowski has it. Underhand flip to Wainhouse at first, just in time, and that's your ball game. So the Chinooks make it exciting, but they will fall tonight by a score of 5-4. And will lose now their 4th game in a row. The second straight to the Glacier Pilots, and now they have to find a way to come back out and go with it. And yeah, they will now be
half game behind.
Half game into last place, the first time they've been there all year.
And Garrett, it was a tough one to watch, especially because this was a game where the bats really got going, and it's a shame that the difference in this ball game had to be the double by Jack Lebowski.
And really, it was errors. Errors were the difference.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the game-winning run on that one. The errors are really and truly the difference. I mean, Connor Menez pitching great, and basically, the Glacier Pilots could write a manual today on how to beat Connor Menez, make him throw a bunch of pitches in the first 3 innings, so they had to take him out. Because he pitched, maybe not his best game of the season, but it was still no one else you'd rather have out on the mound. But they just kept going and extending the inning with errors. And, they got 3 runs off him. Only one of them earned against the ace, but that's all they needed. And 5-4, your final score. The Chinooks with a chance to win at the end, but Matt Fruto, watching called strike 3 with runners first and second, 1 out, and then the ground out from Cam Baranek closes the book on this contest. So like you said, Garrett, the Chinooks
4 losses in a row. And hopefully, really, really hopefully, these guys can pick up a win tomorrow against the Gold Panthers, who they're 4-0 against this season, and go into the All-Star break with some kind of swagger, you know. But it should be it's a must win tomorrow, quite frankly. And I bet they will.
Well, I mean, the
Never
term.
say never, but
Yeah, I mean this is one of those where the season is almost getting to the point where it's a clincher for the Miners. Gonna have to look at the numbers here a little later tonight. But I mean the Matsu Miners have all but run away with this division and with this lead, and it's getting to the point where you're playing for a certain goal, a certain certain expectations in terms of personal and as a team collectively. But I think over 500 is definitely
21-20
a goal, and they're going to have some work to get there. But tonight,
that means they need to go 8-4 for the rest of the season. They need to win twice as much as they lose, and they have 2 games against the Matsu Miners, but not impossible by any means. For the most part, they have been quite successful against teams not named the Matsu Miners, but they fall to their record drops to 500 against the Glacier Pilots this season. But hopefully they can get a pick-me-up win against the Gold Panthers tomorrow, go into the All-Star game with some swagger, and then after that, going into the final stretch of Alaska Baseball League games, they can pick up they'd have to go 5-4 at that point, which is doable, and hopefully come out with a winning record, which would be the first in a long time for this ball club. And the season already providing a lot of memories, but to be able to say that you were a winning ball club in one of the toughest summer leagues in the country is a real feat to strive for. But
their final tonight, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots with a score of 5-4 over the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. They did so on 9 base hits and 3 errors. The Chinooks 4 runs on 8 hits, 4 errors. It took 2 hours and 32 minutes. The winning pitcher tonight is Brett Brown. He moves to 3-1 on the season. How about that out of the bullpen for the Glacier Pilots? Just been lights out for them. Jason Carkenny takes the loss. He's now 0-2. And Joe Wainhouse, in his first inning on the hill this summer, takes the save. Offensive notables tonight, and it really comes down to, on the Glacier Pilot side, the first 2 guys in their lineup are really the ones that did all the damage. Luke Hamblin went 3 for 5, ended up scoring just the 1 run, but he seemed to be out there on the base paths all night long. Joe Maroney was 2 for 3, had an RBI as well. RBIs from J.J. Wagner, Adalberto Carrillo, Gunnar Troutwine, and Cameron Comer, so both catchers to sub in for the Glacier Pilots, ended up driving home a run. On the Chinook side, Patrick Cromwell got a base hit. David Morton hit as well. Will Bass had another hit. Holt Davis had a sac fly for an RBI, but Matt Ferrudo and Jacob Brobst, the 2 guys that really stapled the offense today. Ferrudo 3 hits, drove in a pair, did strike out twice, out on a questionable call here in the 9th, but I would, just fortunate to have Jacob Brobst and Ferrudo hit in the same inning in the bottom of the 9th, or in the top of the 9th, to try to tie this game and extend it. But Jacob Brobst, talk about catalyst. 2 for 2 officially, walked twice, scored 3 runs. He would have been the tying run, and he was stranded on second base when this one ended. But Brett Brown with 3 innings of relief, scoreless, and then Joe Wainhouse. So the Pilots bullpen did a tremendous job shutting down the Chinooks, but the Chinooks middle relief having a tough time at it. Jason Carkenny, he pitched 4 innings, he gave up 5 hits, allowed 2 runs, but they were big ones. It was a go-ahead run in the 4th and another one in the bottom of the 7th inning. So, next one on the docket is a home game tomorrow night. Thank goodness to see the friendly confines of Loretta French Park tomorrow night. And the Alaska Gold Panthers coming off of a very difficult week against the Anchorage Bucks, losing in a doubleheader yet again tonight. And so the Gold Panthers will hit the bus. They'll get down here tomorrow. A long bus ride and having to play on the same day. Going to be a long day for the Gold Panthers before the Chinooks and the Panthers hit the field. And then next time we'll be here at Mulcahy. It'll be the Scout Showcase for a couple of showcase games Friday and Saturday, and then the All-Star game on Sunday afternoon. The selections will be released either Friday or Saturday night, so we'll keep you updated on that. But in terms of tonight, Chinooks lose a nail-biter 5-4 to the Glacier Pilots, and we'll be back again tomorrow night from Lee Jordan Field at 7 p.m. But from Mulcahy Field in Anchorage, at the top of the world, to wherever you might be joining us, thank you for tuning in to Chinooks baseball this evening, and some of the best collegiate action across America in the summertime. But thanks for tuning in again. I'm Garrett Mansfield. He is Andrew Alex. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you again here tomorrow. Fish on.